Hi guys, so the last place I left off, I was in Dubai. We are back in sunny Glasgow now, and we're on the lead up to the UKDFBA Heart of England. It's a qualifier for the British finals. So the plan since arriving back in Dubai was to get a touch leaner, and over the last 6 days I've been digging. We arrived back on the Tuesday, straight back to the plan on the Tuesday through to Sunday, and actually hit that new low a lot quicker than anticipated. So down to 82.5 at the lowest. Obviously, weighing is a bit higher today just because I had a high day yesterday. So we got down to that point, checked in with my coach, and he said, "You're all good at the moment. I don't think we should push things any harder. What we're going to do is we're going to load up 2 high days and then we're going to reverse again. But with this reverse, we're not going to completely remove cardio to begin with. We're just going to taper it down a touch, so we'll just go half an hour every day. And what we'll probably find is actually drop once again, so we'll go below 82.5 just as inflammation, fatigue comes off once again. That's exactly what happened last time. So calories were brought down on the depletion to just over 2,000 on a training day and just below 1,900 on a rest day. Cardio at 45 minutes, and my steps were around 12 to 15k really. So pretty aggressive for me, for someone who is on the heavier side as a natural men's physique competitor. And that was quite a significant deficit, as my scale weight was just kind of dropping every single day at quite a rapid rate. Hence why we've included the 2 high days now and then that sort of slow reverse out. So that is the plan. My shows now for the rest of the season, again, some changes. We were debating whether or not to do a WNBF show abroad, again, maybe like the Netherlands or Poland, but a lot of the entries for these have been closed. And just with my timetable, it doesn't quite match up. And then also the cost, expense of going abroad and competing, because Dubai was expensive. So the plan now is to do Heart of England, hopefully qualify for the British finals and do the British finals in October. And then a PCA show. I am going to go to a PCA, do an assisted or a non-tested fed, and see how I stack up against some of the bigger guys on gear. I think I can hold my own shape-wise, condition-wise, so that will be a fun show because I'm just going to go in with no expectations. I will inform you which PCA show that is a bit closer to the time. Going to keep that one a secret at the moment. And then the WNBF Supernaturals will be my final show on the 22nd of October. So I want to kind of show you a little bit of the plan on the lead up. This is a high day today, so a little bit more food going in. You've seen in meal one there, a couple of bagels, which honestly, after those days of lower calories, was absolute heaven. And yeah, so I'm at that stage of prep where things are getting a little bit tough. The best way to describe it, like kind of last week, was just feeling tired, lethargic, very heavy legs, getting dizzy spells. I think it's as a result of low blood pressure rather than low blood sugar. Normally when I get low blood sugar, I get quite shaky, but just really a little bit dizzy, and my sleep was starting to get affected. But last night I got a decent night's sleep, and hopefully continuing this week with reversing out, sleep will continue to improve. So I'm going to take you along for today's sort of high day, and then some of my sort of more depletion days as well in the lead up to some of these shows. But I will catch you guys in the next clip. So I managed to get some training clips from today's leg session. This was meant to feel good, but really this movement, this squat pattern, felt horrendous today. I don't know if it was just because I had been depleting for the last 6 days and only had a couple of meals in me, but you can see here, this is one of the realities of preps. This was a weight I was doing before Dubai, fairly easy, and I literally failed in rep 4 here. It was like there was no glycogen, nothing in the tank to give, and normally I can kind of grind through these, but you can see on this 4th rep, I just had nothing to give, and I felt it was just a squat pattern. All the rest of the workout felt okay, but just that movement was horrendous. You can see I fail completely, which wasn't great. But I do significantly drop the weight on the second set. And my goal here was to really just get those reps in and really focus on it. This is a heavy squat pattern. It's the only machine which has been okay on my hip. I have had a hip injury throughout the whole of this prep, and the hack squat is just super heavy at the bottom. But this one, for whatever reason, I don't know if it's the sort of back support, it seems to feel okay on the hip. This was a much better set, and I do bring that level of intensity, and that's the thing, guys. On the prep, sometimes you just have to lower the weight to keep the intensity there, and that's the most important thing, is we are still keeping the intensity up, training close to failure, so that we are holding on to as much muscle as possible. At this stage of prep, all I'm doing is just trying to maintain rather than to try and build. And yeah, much better set. Very happy with that one. The only other clip I got here was a single leg hamstring curl. My main focus here is just the alignment, so hip, knee and ankle in a line, and then I'm only driving up just beyond the ankle on my other foot, because if I go all the way up towards my hip, I take the tension away from the hamstring and it just goes onto the glute. So I'm trying to keep my hips fairly stable in this movement. I finished this workout off with some calf raises and some delts, as this was a leg and delt session. So guys, I hope you can see me okay, but I am here at the Glasgow Physio Clinic for a massage. Typically I'll get a massage every month, just to keep my body fresh, to help me open up in the poses as well. I think it's so important if you are a physique competitor to get regular sort of tissue work done, especially to allow you to like open your lats. And sometimes you'll notice when you pose, there might be a little bit of an imbalance. Like for me, in my last comp, I actually noticed one of my rear delt on the left side wasn't popping as much. Obviously that could be an adjustment to posing, but the massage work can help as well. So something I highly recommend getting done, also for just injury prevention as well, especially when you're deep in a prep and you don't have the same sort of stability you do on movements. Your chances of injury are a little bit higher. So keeping that regular massage work in, if you can't afford like a sports massage every month, then make sure you're keeping up with your mobility work. Obviously that's a given anyway. Make sure you're foam rolling, make sure you're doing some stretching, and that generally can help. So I'm not going to bring the camera in, but I will catch you when I'm back home. So I ran out of time yesterday, so I'm just recording the concluding bits to the video today. So I want to go over the high day. Obviously it wasn't a full day of eating, it was more just to kind of give you an idea of some of the meals I'll have on a high day. But typically on a high day, all we're doing is we're just upping our carbohydrate intake, potentially upping fat slightly too. And all this is going to do is just allow you to push further into the diet. It can help to mitigate fatigue and stress on the body. So having a little bit higher food can offset some of that dietary induced fatigue. And also it's a good psychological relief as well. Having a couple of days where you eat more food, it's relief from the diet. So when you're doing a prolonged prep or cut, I would recommend implementing some of these strategies, either like a diet break, whether that be just kind of going up to maintenance for a week, or high days, which I usually implement. And again, I'll usually go for a stint of digging for like 7 to 10 days, then 2 of these high days. And usually what we'll find is that first high day, my weight doesn't actually go up at all, because it's just washing away some of that fatigue. And then the second day, I load, I fill my muscles back up with glycogen. Again, that gives me energy to push, retains my strength throughout the prep, which is so important. I keep banging on about that. Is, you know, your performance should, you want to maintain that as much as you can, because then you know you're not losing muscle. And I always say at the end of the day, it's not a dieting contest. You're looking to bring a certain look to the stage, and your best look. So it's using these strategies throughout prep. Now, my macros for my high days are up here. Please do not follow those exact numbers, because everyone, again, is highly individualized. I had a client just last weekend, female client, and we basically didn't do much of a carb load at all for her peak week. Small carb load, but again, that was down to sort of individual factors, and also the fact we probably could get a little bit leaner. So everything's like slightly varies depending on the person, depending on condition, and depending on their training age. There's a lot of factors that need to be taken into consideration when setting about like loading or high days. So I hope that kind of gives you an idea. Food wise, I'll keep exactly the same as well. So you saw on those meals I had rice cakes, the bagels in the morning, and then like potatoes. These are just standard carbohydrates that I keep throughout. I try and make the meals taste good, so you know, offer a little bit of variety in the ways I just cook things, and it makes me look forward to eating the meal. Again, you need to find something which works for you, especially when it comes to dieting. Like, what can you stick to in a calorie deficit? If that means, you know, tracking your macros but getting in good nutrition, then do that. If that means following a meal plan, kind of a bit more like myself, then stick to that method. I always think a meal plan works best in prep, because there's less chance you're going to go off track, but again, everyone is different. So plan now up until the Heart of England is we've had the 2 high days. Now we're slowly reversing out, so we're reducing cardio down a little bit to reduce inflammation fatigue. And what we'll probably notice is, as we're kind of reducing that cardio down and also increasing calories a touch, my weight actually continues to drop as water weight comes off from inflammation. And then I'll go back to that sort of low set point. So the lowest I got to is about 82.5. So for next week, I'll probably be around that 82 to 82.5. And then we're going to load up exactly the same strategy as we did for Dubai. So the show is on Sunday. We're going to load up Friday, Saturday, and then sort of just maintain that look going into the show on Sunday. Session wise, next week is lighter in terms of sessions as well. My 2 normal training sessions, Monday, Tuesday. Then we'll take Wednesday off. Wednesday typically isn't a rest day for me, but just to match up with the sort of pump sessions, we'll take Wednesday off. Then we'll do training Thursday, Friday, day off on the Saturday, into the show on the Sunday. But yeah, that is it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you've got any questions, please drop them in the comments below, or head over to my Instagram, and I will catch you in the next video.